Imagine betting your entire future on a quarterback who was benched when everything was on the line. That's exactly where the New York Jets might be headed. A team on the edge, a quarterback searching for redemption, and a decision that could either save or destroy a season. Welcome to the storm. This is the kind of gamble that turns a franchise into a headline, for better or worse. Can a team that's this desperate really find hope in a quarterback the league has already given up on? The New York Jets are standing at a dangerous crossroads. On one side, there's a dream, Super Bowl glory. On the other, there's panic, the fear of wasting yet another season. And now, in a twist that feels almost too perfect, they're being linked to one of the most controversial names in the league right now. Kirk Cousins. Yes, that Kirk Cousins. The same one who just got benched in Atlanta when the playoffs were still in reach. After saying goodbye to Aaron Rodgers in a shocking offseason decision, the Jets took a bold risk by putting their entire future in the hands of Justin Fields. Fields is young, talented, and full of potential. But the NFL doesn't wait for potential. It demands results. And now, only weeks into the 2025 season, whispers are growing louder. What if Fields isn't the guy? What if the team starts sliding? What if they have to make a move before it's too late? Picture this. It's November 2025. The trade deadline is just days away. The Jets are stuck in the middle of the standings. Not bad, but not great. The season is slipping away again. Fields hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been great either. The same old questions are coming back. Can he lead? Can he win the big ones? Meanwhile, down in Atlanta, Kirk Cousins is collecting dust on the bench. He's the most expensive backup in NFL history. Watching rookie Michael Penix Jr. take over the huddle that was supposed to be his. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, and it's clear. Atlanta has moved on. So here's the big rumor, the move that could change everything. Trade Cousins to the Jets. Give Atlanta salary relief and draft picks. Give New York another shot at saving their season. And there's more. Rick Spielman, a top Jets advisor, used to work directly with Cousins in Minnesota. He knows what Cousins can do. He knows the system. The connection is real. The situation is real. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Kirk Cousins is not just another quarterback. He's a mystery, a puzzle, a walking contradiction wearing a $180 million contract. He's a guy who can throw for 4,000-plus yards year after year, but still let you down when it matters most. In 2024, he threw 18 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. That's one of his worst years ever. He's the same quarterback who once led Minnesota to the playoffs, but then couldn't stop Atlanta from losing faith in him when they were still fighting for a division title. Atlanta was 7-7, alive in the NFC South race, and they still benched him. That's not development. That's a message. A message that says, we don't believe in you anymore. But football is funny. Sometimes, when a player is backed into a corner, when everyone gives up on them, that's when they rise. That's when they prove everybody wrong. And maybe, just maybe, that's the player the Jets are betting on. Meanwhile, Justin Fields is walking a tightrope. The pressure is unreal. The hope of the whole franchise is on his shoulders. He had flashes of greatness in Pittsburgh last year, a 4-2 record, some big throws, a lot of heart. But now, this is his big shot, and every single week, that rope gets thinner. But here's the truth Jets fans don't want to admit. The numbers tell a cold, hard story about Justin Fields. Yes, he's athletic. Yes, he's explosive at times. But his career record as a starter is 14-30. That's not just bad, that's worrying. And he's never thrown for more than 2,600 yards or reached 20 touchdowns in a single season. Not once. Those aren't just weak stats in today's NFL. Those are numbers that would have been seen as below average even 30 years ago. This isn't a rookie learning the ropes. Fields is heading into his 5th NFL season. This isn't about growing pains anymore. This is about patterns. Patterns that scream, he might not be the guy. Still, the Jets made their choice. They went all in. They took a gamble that might go down as one of the boldest or riskiest moves in modern NFL history. They're hoping, begging, that the kid who couldn't make it work in Chicago, the same guy who had to sit on the bench in Pittsburgh, can now rise up and become the franchise savior New York has waited over a decade for. But let's be honest, that's not a plan. That's a prayer. And that's where Kirk Cousins steps in. The desperation factor. Let's be real. The Jets are the kings of desperation. This is the same team that gave up major assets to bring in Aaron Rodgers, only to watch him tear his Achilles after just 4 plays. The same team that's been stuck in a never-ending cycle of quarterback misery, always chasing the next fix, always hoping the next guy is the one. Now imagine Fields starts slow. Imagine the offense stalls again. Given his past, that's not just possible. It's likely. If that happens, the pressure inside the Jets building will be unbearable. The front office will be trapped. The fans? They'll be furious. They're done waiting. They won't accept another year of boring, broken offense, especially not with a defense this good. And in that moment, Kirk Cousins starts to look a lot better. Even on his worst day, Cousins still puts up better numbers than most Jets quarterbacks have in years. He's not a superstar, but he's stable, reliable, proven, and sometimes that's all a drowning franchise needs, someone who can simply keep the ship afloat. The domino effect. If this move happens, it won't just be random. It'll be perfect timing. Let's say rookie Michael Penix Jr. keeps shining in Atlanta. Let's say he owns that huddle by mid-season. The Falcons won't have a choice. They can't keep paying starter money to a guy riding the bench. That's money they need to build around Penix, for weapons, for protection, for the future. So, Cousins has to go. And the Jets? They're the perfect buyer. For New York, it's not just about adding a veteran QB, it's about saving their season, maybe even saving their coaching staff and front office. Make no mistake, jobs are on the line. And when that pressure builds in New York, moves that seem crazy suddenly start to make perfect sense. The risk versus reward. This trade would be everything people love and hate about modern NFL decisions. On one side, you're getting a quarterback with a real history of success, a guy who's been to the playoffs, a guy who can run an offense and put points on the board. But on the other side, you're throwing a lifeline to a player who just got benched for not being good enough. You're spending big money and possibly draft picks on a 36-year-old who might already be past his prime. It's risky. It's emotional. It's so Jets. But it might just be the only way to keep this season alive. Jets fans, what would you do? Would you stick with Fields or roll the dice on Cousins? Rate your confidence from 1 to 10 and drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading every single one. Let's be real. This isn't just about skill. It's about pressure. Kirk Cousins has played in the fire. He's dealt with the lights, the media, the noise. He knows what it's like to carry a team full of veterans, a team that's built to win right now. That's not something every quarterback can do. That kind of experience matters, especially in New York. But here's the other side of the coin, and it's a heavy one. By trading for Cousins, you're not just bringing in experience, you're also doubling down on average. You're saying, we'll take a guy his own team gave up on, even in the middle of a playoff race. That's not a small red flag. That's a giant warning sign. And what about Justin Fields? Bringing in Cousins mid-season could kill his development. This was supposed to be his season, his shot to finally prove he can lead a franchise. If you bench him too early, if you send the message that we don't believe in you, you may never get him back. But here's the harsh truth. The Jets are not built for patience. Not anymore. This team has one of the best defenses in the league. Young, hungry, and right in the middle of their prime. They've got playmakers on offense who can contribute right now. They've got a fan base that's been kicked around for years and doesn't want to hear about next year anymore. They want results, and they want them now. Sometimes the safe move is the worst move, especially when your franchise has played it safe for 20 straight years and still has nothing to show for it. The verdict. Will this trade actually happen? Nobody knows for sure. That depends on 1,000 moving parts, injuries, surprises, coaching decisions, salary cap space, performance, locker room vibes. But the fact that we're even talking about it, seriously, tells us everything about where these two franchises stand. The Jets are standing on a knife's edge. They're one quarterback away from real playoff hope, and one quarterback mistake away from total collapse. That's how tight the margin is. That's how dangerous this decision becomes. Kirk Cousins is not a perfect fix, but in the NFL, perfect doesn't exist. You don't always need perfect. You just need the guy who can get you through the storm. Maybe, just maybe, Kirk is that guy.